Welcome back, everybody. This is your three-man booth. Happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving. I'm Dan Salem with Phil and Bud. The home stretch of the season, guys. The home stretch.
Final 5 weeks.
So I want to talk about teams that are hot. I'm going to list three. Feel free to add anybody on top of the pile, but there are three teams that are red hot right now. Obviously, the Baltimore Ravens, San Francisco 49ers, after destroying the Packers, are red hot, and the New York Jets on a reasonably probable but seemingly improbable win streak have been playing red hot as well. Anybody I missed, or those are the three that stand out to me?
I mean, I'm sure some people will say the Patriots, but I wouldn't call them. I wouldn't call them red hot right now. They are literally only winning because their defense is keeping them with it in games. If their defense was a notch lower than what they are, this team could easily have 4 or 5 losses. They're off. Something's wrong with their offense.
Yeah, and it's not fair to lump that all on Tom Brady, but it's definitely a contributing factor.
He can't throw the ball down the field anymore. Not that he could anyway. I mean, every one of his passes was only 5 or 8 yards anyway. But it's even those 5 or 8 yard throws now are not as accurate as they once were.
Well, this is an interesting segue. Do you think this is kind of a Gronkowski effect? Because I mean, Gronkowski's a Hall of Famer, and you don't just replace that. We were wondering how it would affect this team.
Well, think about it. The Kraft has been begging him to come back out of retirement all year, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with that, and the fact that he doesn't really have any weapons at the wide receiver position. They picked up Sanu. He's kind of been
Yeah, he's hurt. He's hurt.
Is he?
Yeah. He's coming back, I think, this week. But
there you go. They have very little running game. Sonny Michel is good, but in the goal line, he can't score touchdowns.
Well, it's interesting. They seem to have pulled a star running back out of their ass for like 4 years in a row, and then they kept letting him leave in free agency. I figured, again, it wouldn't work out every single season. So, yeah, but they might have an all-time great defense. It's definitely going to carry them pretty far. They don't feel hot to me, but they're definitely on a long winning streak. So I guess it's not fair to ignore them.
But their defense is only going to carry them so far, and then you look at other teams in the AFC like the Ravens, and they completely annihilated the Rams last night. I mean, that wasn't even a game. I turned it off the middle of the second quarter. I said, this isn't even fun to watch. I felt like I was watching the Jets at the beginning of the year. That's how bad that football game was.
And the Rams aren't awful. They're decent. I mean, they're not good.
The Rams are screwed. The Rams went all in for this year with all the moves they made and paying guys and golf. Listen, that golf contract looks awful. The Rams are in a lot of trouble for a bunch of years coming up now. They have no cap room. Yeah. They're in trouble.
And they're moving into a new stadium next year, and that owner has an enormous bill that he owes Jerry Jones and the Steinbrenners for building that stadium that cost 5 times the original price. That whole team franchise is in trouble. I don't know. I agree. They need to turn the corner on this on the field product.
Do you think that the Rams' challenges this year, and offensively they have not played well, and defensively they haven't played as good as they have last year, but how much of this do you think is just teams catching up to McVay and just saying, okay, we watched how the Patriots beat you in the Super Bowl and they stopped you, and teams are just mimicking that all year this year, and their offense just hasn't been going?
I think
that's a lot. I think it's a lot of it. I think that's a huge factor.
I was also going to say,
yeah, go ahead.
I don't think – I mean, Todd Gurley's not the player he used to be, and that is totally going to hurt your offense too. So,
but if their offensive line was so good, like you can put anybody back there. There's a lot of teams that don't have number one stud running backs, and they're doing just fine.
But is it still so good? I don't know.
Doesn't look like it. No. And golf is just – golf had that nice year last year, and man.
Well, 2 years. He had 2.
All right, 2 years. I wouldn't even call it Super Bowl regression at this point. We're way too far away from the Super Bowl in February of this year. This is something else going on.
Well, you got to figure there's an ebb and a flow. I mean, I never watched him and said, oh, my God, he's the next Peyton Manning. Oh, my God, he's the next Brett Favre. Like, I never saw a Hall of Fame quarterback. I just saw a really good player. And so he had a rocky rookie year. He had 2 really good seasons. He's having a rocky season now. I mean, they're 6-5. Realistically, they should finish 10-6, 9-7. It's not awful.
But the way the NFC is shaping up, Dan, they're not even sniffing the playoffs right now.
Oh no, they're not going to make the playoffs. No,
I mean,
absolutely not.
the Seahawks are 9-2, and I mean, they look like they could be in the top 3 or 4 teams in the entire league if it wasn't for San Francisco that just steamrolling over people.
Yeah.
Still,
the Rams needed to beat Baltimore. They basically eliminated themselves from the playoffs. The NFC's locked. Minnesota and Seattle got the wild cards.
And Phil a couple weeks ago said that the 49ers weren't for real, that they were just playing easy schedule. I mean, they
I'm clearly wrong.
They smoked the Packers Sunday night. Smoked them.
So is that more of the Niners being really good, which I think they are. I'm not going to deny that. The Packers are just they're mediocre at this point. Yeah, they have Aaron Rodgers, but that's it.
The 49ers have a really good defense. They had a really good defense last year, even though they didn't get the wins. And so that defense shut down Aaron Rodgers. And I mean, again, Aaron Rodgers is later in his career. The weather's cold. It's easy to play great in September and early October. It's hard to play great in November and December. So the young quarterbacks are going to excel. Look at Lamar Jackson. Look at Sam Darnold now. The season's wearing on, and they've gotten better. Whereas these older players are starting to
So the good match will be next week when the Niners fly across the country to play the Ravens. That's going to be a game. That is going to be probably the game of – remember last year we were all excited for Kansas City and the Rams, and it was 51-41 or whatever, or 51-51. Wow, I can't think of the score. 54-51, whatever it was. And we knew that was going to be a great game, and it lived up to the hype. The game this week with the Niners and the Ravens, this might be like 10-7, but it's going to be a good 10-7.
I was going to say defense, right? It's going to be a defense game.
It's going to be a good battle. Like sometimes when these teams can't score, it's like, all right, this game sucks. So this is going to be a true defensive battle.
Well, what impressed me the most about both of these teams is that they pulled a running game out of their butts. Like neither one of them entered the season with a number 1 back. I think maybe San Francisco did, but the guy was injured. I forget. Is that McKinnon? But they're both using rotations excellently.
But Mark Ingram looks awesome.
He does.
But a lot of what Mark Ingram is doing is a product of the fact that Lamar Jackson is just, I mean, he's from another planet. People are comparing him to Michael Vick. Michael Vick was Michael Vick could throw the ball. I mean, do you remember when Michael Vick was playing for the Eagles? I know Phil does.
I do.
I mean, he made 80-yard throws look effortless.
Yeah, he was good.
That is the only difference between Michael Vick was more of a pocket passer and could throw the ball. Lamar Jackson, although he's better than what he was last year, is still relying on his legs and doing all of these things that people just dreamed that they could do. I mean,
I really and I hope that this isn't like a 1-year wonder for him. You never know with quarterbacks; it's so fluky. But he just looks like the real deal. Like I still come back to the Dolphins passing on him. Now I don't know if he'd be this good with Miami because Baltimore's got a great defense, a great offensive line, a great running game for him. But I think Harbaugh should get a lot of credit here. So
the question is this sustainable for another 5 games in the regular season plus the playoffs? Is this sustainable? Like it's take the Patriots. At some point, the Patriots and the Ravens are going to meet in the playoffs. It's going to happen. So Bill Belichick's not stupid, obviously, and he's gonna be like, well, if we stop Lamar's running game and make him pass, is that enough? We don't know yet.
Well, you know what's interesting? Because in the NBA, it's common practice for teams to rest down the stretch, right? They've locked it up. The Patriots locked up their division a month ago. Now, I'm not suggesting that they're, quote, resting. And you can't really rest.
They haven't locked up the division. Buffalo is right there, dude. They're a game and a half behind them. I wouldn't sit on Buffalo. Buffalo's got the number 3 ranked defense. They have
back this week too.
Offense. They still got to play the Patriots one more time. I mean, they could sneak away with this if the Patriots slip.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I never really gave much validity to the Bills, but I can't argue with the fact that they're in striking distance. They're very close. I guess the point I was trying to make is I'm not sure the Patriots are slowing down towards the end of the season. That would be foolish. But should the Ravens, if once they've locked up the division, just because they don't want to burn themselves out before they have to play the Patriots.
I hope so, because if you're looking at the Jets schedule, they got Cincinnati and they got Miami, right? So obviously we can't put all of our chips in and say that they're going to win those games.
Mhm.
But the hardest game I think that the Jets have to play here is Baltimore.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well,
If they decide to sit Lamar Jackson, that would be like God coming down and saying,
yeah. I mean, that would be insane. I'm not sure why they would do it if they possibly had the number 1 seed wrapped up.
Don't they play in week 17?
No, week 15.
Oh, okay. They're not sitting Lamar Jackson week 15. Come on.
they got 15.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
If it was 17, you had a chance, but
At Baltimore, that's the Thursday night primetime game.
now Thursday night games are completely unpredictable, and the Jets have the number 1 running defense. I'm not getting ahead of myself because we are Jets fans and we are all too familiar with this team falling into trap games over and over and over and over again. But I do like that the main sentiment coming from Jordan Jenkins and the team right now is we are not the past. Stop blaming us for the sins of the past. Don't put what other teams' failures on our shoulders. And they're red hot. I mean, they look great. I mean,
who would have seen what happened on Sunday coming?
you kind of did.
No, no.
not like that, man.
I didn't see that coming though, Phil.
He thought they were going to win, but blow them out like that, that was just
that wasn't even competitive. It wasn't.
I got to be honest. I thought that they had a real shot to win. I never imagined that they would shut Raiders down like that. That looked like the bad Raiders team that I thought the Raiders might be this season, not the good one that they had been.
Yeah, it took me completely by surprise. Sam played great. The defense the last 2 weeks, against Washington, you could say, all right, Washington's not very good, right?
Yeah.
But Oakland's offense was very serviceable and very good, and they have a lead rusher in the league, and they held them to 40 yards?
So
it killed me last week in fantasy. They took them out in the third quarter.
I know it did.
Well, I mean, they got a tremendous run defense. So we knew the Jets' weakness coming into the season was their cornerback play, but once they got their backups in, who totally had stepped up, I mean, I'm amazed how they've been able to plug these holes. And the run defense obviously helps, but like, there's no starting corner. Like the corners are out, the starting linebackers are out, starting offensive line is completely out. 4 out of the 5 are not playing.
I just saw another one got put on IR or something today or the other day.
Yeah, the rookie, which is unfortunate. But these players are playing better than the starters. I don't know what that said. I mean, I guess that's a credit to the coaching along the way. It's a shame.
I want to hear Bud say. I want to hear Bud give credit to the coaching staff right now.
I did in my article that I wrote. Listen, I got to give him a little bit of credit, right? I mean, like 3 weeks ago, you would have never thought that this team would be even somewhat competitive. And the last 3 weeks have looked, take away the defense against the Giants game, right? The last 2 weeks, the defense has looked like the best defense in the league. And their offense has looked like they can't miss.
Well, you know what's interesting? If you narrow down the Jacksonville and the Miami game to only what the Jets did well, it's 100% what they've built upon to be playing this good right now. Now, obviously, they made the mistakes, they had the turnovers, and they lost those football games. But I got to credit their CEO for coming out and giving a public nod to the coach because the noise was getting so big. And, I will admit I fell into the trap of questioning if he was actually doing anything right. But he's definitely doing something right. You don't just flip the switch like that. So,
hey, at this point, I think I'd rather have Adam Gase than Jason Garrett, right?
Jason Garrett
or Pat Shurmur.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about the buffoonery that was the Dallas game against the Patriots when he should be going for touchdowns instead of field goals.
I am actually shocked that he still has a job because Jerry Jones came out after the game and was like,
if they lose to Buffalo on Thursday, watch how hot that hot seat gets.
It's already hot, dude.
Here's the thing.
No, but one more loss.
If they don't, so they can lose though, and if Philadelphia loses, they're still in the top place of the division. If they win the division and make the playoffs, I think Garrett keeps his job. If they don't win the division, he's done. He's absolutely.
they could win that division at 7-9. Because the Eagles are not good. Carson Wentz, something's going on with Carson Wentz.
No.
What's going on with that offense? The Eagles are just not good.
Yeah, I mean,
we know what Washington is. We know what the Giants are. The Giants are, oh boy, the Giants are awful.
They're done. They've packed it in.
well, it's really unfortunate because they are in a 100% winnable division, but they just can never get it together. It's just,
You know what? But at this point, even if they won a few extra games in one division, the NFC East winner is getting smoked in the wild card round. It really doesn't matter. The NFC East winner is going to be one and done this year.
So let me pose this question to you, Phil, and this is more of a question for Phil. I want to get his blood going. Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
He bust?
Who? Say
Saquon.
again? Yeah.
Is he a bust?
Come on. You know that's not true. How is he? All right. Explain to me why you think that.
I mean, we're here for debate, right?
what is it? What is it?
I'm sure you watched the game, right?
There's no debate. It's not his fault. It's the offensive line. It can't block for him.
Please stop. Please.
No.
If he's hurt, he shouldn't be playing, right?
Well, I don't know if he's hurt. I don't even know if he is hurt.
He doesn't. He can't catch the ball out of the backfield right now. He can't run. Something's going on with him.
Well, you can't.
I'm just curious as to last year he led the league in rushing, and he was on another planet. This year he's got nothing. And let's be honest, Daniel Jones, he has his flaws, but he is a better quarterback than Eli is, right?
Well, yeah, and he's only going to improve on that. But you're right. Maybe Saquon's ankle isn't 100%, but that offensive line is not doing him any favors at all. Yeah, he missed the really wide open catch there on that bleeding pass, but he should. So he's not. I wouldn't call him a bust. You know, in your heart, you know he's not a bust.
Well, here's an interesting question because another major piece missing from the Giants' offense this year is Odell Beckham, and that took a lot of pressure off Barkley, and it really took a lot of pressure off the other Giants wide receivers. I mean, Golden Tate has not replaced Beckham by any means. Now, wasn't playing great in Cleveland, but he always was great for the Giants.
But he still commanded the defense's respect. You're right. You're probably right about that. And there's a part of me that wishes they never traded Beckham because I want to see – I would have liked to see 1 year of Jones, Beckham, and Barkley, but that didn't happen.
Well, so why is it – so I mean, we watched the Jets with Le'Veon Bell and Bell being unable to generate a lot of yards, but he still looks like Le'Veon Bell. Now, even if he's not breaking free. I agree with Bud that something's up with Barkley. I mean, I don't think they're using him well, and they used him right last year, so I don't know what Shermer changed. The
offense should be going through Saquon, and it's not. It's just not.
I also think it has something to do with these defenses know they're playing Daniel Jones. They know he throws a lot of turnovers, interceptions, whatever. These guys are stacking the box. I mean, there's no room for Barkley to run. There's nothing for him to do. Sterling Shepard played his first game in the last, 4 weeks. You've had a mashed unit of receivers with Golden Tate in there. Evan Ingram hasn't played in 4 weeks. I mean, what would you do as a defensive coordinator? You're going to stack the box against your only weapon on the offense in Saquon Barkley. I mean, that I can keep going, but that's probably a huge contributor.
Yeah, I mean, they missed Shepard most of the year with concussions too, so you're right. There's really only one guy to key on.
It's a massive perfect storm of crap right now, and it's, listen, I have no anticipation that they win. Well, I shouldn't say that because they do play Miami and they do have a couple of easier games. But I was watching that game Sunday. I'm like, at no point, and I felt like you had a couple weeks ago with the Jets. I'm like, I don't feel like at any point they're going to come win this game. And I was clearly right on that.
Well, Chicago's not very good either, which is
and they're not. Yeah. They're not. But they have a great defense.
They still have a good defense. You're right.
Well, put that defense aside, they could have and should have beaten Chicago this weekend. I mean,
yeah, you're right. They could have, but at no point did I feel like, all right, here we go. We're finally going to get going.
You want to talk about a bust? How about Mitchell Trubisky? I mean, I'm not surprised, but he's
terrible. Some of the throws he was making with plenty of time, he can't even reach people on out routes. Like, that's a problem. I'm telling you, and I joked with Phil a few weeks ago, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw Cam Newton in Chicago next year.
I mean,
with that defense,
they're going to get a new quarterback. That's for sure.
They're going to have to get a new quarterback, or Nagy is going to be looking for a new job.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mishnu, I don't know if the Jacksonville Jaguars have him wrapped up. Not that Nick Foles is doing much with that team right now, but
Can
Yeah,
we
but
talk
they
about that real quick?
oh yeah, go ahead.
I said what 2-3 weeks ago. I said, do you think that Foles gets his job back? And both of you said, oh, he's going to get his job back. They look terrible with Nick Foles. They look much better with Gardner Minshew.
Well,
Much better.
I'm not saying it was going to be a good decision, but
No, right. We were right. He got his job back because they invested so much money in him. You're not gonna pay the guy so much money and have him sit on the bench perfectly healthy.
Jacksonville looked terrible against Tennessee this weekend.
I agree.
Titans have a great defense, but the Jaguars are in a winnable division, and they've just kind of botched it. I really do think if they kept Mishnu in, they would have been more competitive at the very least.
How about Tennessee making a move with Tannehill?
That was a great switch.
Who saw that coming too, right?
Yeah.
Clearly they did. Clearly they did.
This is the first year he's been healthy since his first season in Miami. I mean, he always
he was a good quarterback his first season in Miami. I mean, injuries just kind of sidetracked him, but
it was kind of like a Chad Pennington thing where he got sidetracked with the Jets and then had a couple good years with Miami because he was healthy.
I love Chad Pennington.
Yeah, me too. But
that playoff game against the Colts, he put up 41 points. Oh, it's a thing of beauty.
I guess I got too short-term of memory.
There aren't too many victories in the playoffs, and I remember those.
Well, I remember one where the Jets beat the Chargers because I was watching it here, and all the Chargers fans were like reaming on me, and then they didn't realize they lost because they missed the field goal at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It was the best.
Well, that was the year that the Colts, the Chargers were the number one team, and then the Jets lost the next week to Oakland, and they should have beaten Oakland.
Yeah.
Herm Edwards was the coach.
Yeah, we got about one good year out of each coach.
Yep.
So.
That was the funny graphic. That was the good graphic on. Actually, I think I was watching Get Up this morning, and they showed the longest tenured head coaches. Belichick and Tomlinson and Sean Payton, and there was another one on there. I can't remember, but Jason Garrett was on there too, and he's the only one on that list that does not have a Super Bowl win. And at this point, he's not even going to be close to one.
Do we think Tomlin's leaving Pittsburgh for real? Like, is that a real thing?
What? Oh, we didn't even talk about that. Say what you want. There is no way in hell Mason Rudolph was playing that game on Sunday against Cleveland.
Oh,
they're going to Hodges. They're going to Hodges as a starter. There's no way in hell they were letting Mason Rudolph on that field against Cleveland.
Yeah, no, they benched him. I mean,
the Cleveland guys at the end of the game on Sunday were begging them to start Mason Rudolph on Sunday. I forget which one it was, but some of the defensive guys were like, I want Mason Rudolph starting, and that's not happening.
No, I mean,
I actually can't wait to watch that game. That's gonna be highly entertaining.
He simultaneously earned his job and then lost it in the course of the same season. But
well, he earned it by default because Ben Roethlisberger got hurt.
He played pretty well for a couple of weeks, and then the team.
Oh man, the bottom fell real. I mean, yeah, you could say there's no Connor and there's no Juju, all right, but man, I mean, what was it? But 2 weeks ago we were watching, and we're like, this game is it is awful.
Well, it's interesting because Pittsburgh is right there for that second wild card at 6-5. So, like, I mean, obviously the Browns are quote making moves. I'm not sure I buy it yet, but
I don't know. I mean, this is right around the time last year where they started to put some wins together. I mean, they do.
The Browns have a really easy. After Pittsburgh, they play Cincinnati, then they play Arizona, then I think they play Baltimore again, and then they have another easy game at the end.
They got to play Cincinnati twice the last 4 weeks.
Right. So they have a pretty cupcake schedule.
Well, I mean, the Baltimore game's probably a loss, and Arizona's no picnic, but they got 2 wins there. Yeah, that's that final wild card. Do you think it's going to be 8-8 or 9-7? It's rarely an 8-8 team, but
yeah, the AFC second wild card is going to be a team that basically has that kind of record. That the NFC, you don't have double digits. Don't even think about it. You're not making it.
Because I mean, Buffalo's kind of in, but I don't love them, but they're in.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, the second wild card team. I mean, if the Jets can get to 8-8, they'll have a legitimate shot. Now the challenge is that they're going to need everybody above them to lose.
They have to hop a bunch of teams, huh?
They have to, but they have to hop the Chargers. The Chargers aren't that good.
Yeah, the Chargers, the Raiders, The Steelers.
Okay, you just saw what the Jets did to the Raiders.
Right. No, but I'm just talking record-wise. There's the Browns. They're right there too.
Now they would lose the tiebreaker to the Browns because head-to-head they lost to the Browns.
Yeah. Oh, and then Tennessee and Indianapolis. they don't own.
Let's get through this weekend first. If they can put a beat down on Cincinnati, which they should be able to do. I mean, Cincinnati they went back to Andy Dalton. I don't think that's the answer.
I think I feel like the only reason they went back to Andy Dalton was to at least get one win on the season at some point. Not saying it's going to be this week, but I know they play Miami, I think still, but I don't think they want to be. They don't want to be in that 0-16, history book there.
Or build his stock up for to trade him in the offseason. So I mean, what do they keep him for?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not that bad. It's just he has. Listen, when you don't have AJ Green for the whole season and Joe Mixon has been taking 3 steps back, it's tough.
I mean, Andy Dalton, the quarterback of who do we say needs to go? He could be the Bears quarterback too. He could be the Steelers quarterback. I mean, these teams are.
He could be the Chargers quarterback. Who knows what's going to happen with Phil Rivers?
Phil Rivers looked bad on. Well, they had a bye. Right? Did they have a bye last week?
They had a bye, but he looked bad.
2 weeks ago, he looked bad. Oh man.
Yeah, I don't think.
Finally started hearing the conversation about Rivers being at the end of his rope. The quarterback class of 04 with Ben, Eli, and Rivers. No one was saying anything about Rivers, but the last couple of weeks, it's like, oh wait, Father Time is really starting to catch up to him too.
And do you think Roethlisberger is going to retire, or do you think he's going to try to come back and then hit his rope? Because I mean, he got hurt before he really strung out.
Maybe it's just me. When I saw him on 2 weeks ago, when they showed him, he got a little hefty. Is it me, or did he get a little hefty?
I think he's a big dude anyway.
He is a big dude, but maybe it's just I'm used to seeing him in gear, but I don't know. How many games has he played? 5 or 6, whatever it was, and maybe he's like, you know what? My body's just I'm done. I don't know. I actually have no idea what he's gonna do.
Yeah, that's an interesting debate, and I can't imagine. I could see Tomlin sticking with the Steelers if Ben comes back, but I don't know why he'd want to go coach Washington. But there's going to be some other coaching openings.
That was odd. What? Yeah, I heard that before too.
That's because the owner, what's his name? The owner of the Redskins,
Dan Snyder.
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
Yeah.
He might be the worst owner in the league.
He might be. I mean, he's still Tomlinson's under contract, so you would have to trade draft picks similar to what New England did to get Belichick.
Yeah.
The last time a coach has been traded, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was a good trade. That ended up working out, huh?
For who?
Well, I guess it worked out both sides because he didn't want to be here. He didn't want to be the Jets coach. He was gonna do whatever he could to get out. I don't know.
It's a sore subject. It's a sore subject, Dan. We can't talk about it.
It's only been 2 decades. I mean, I'm getting over it eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
What would it take to get over it completely?
A Super Bowl win?
Beating the Patriots in the AFC Championship game and go to the Super Bowl.
So there's a great Bill Simmons book called Now I Can Die in Peace because the Red Sox finally won the World Series in his lifetime. I feel like you and I would write a similar book when the Jets finally win one. They got to believe they'll get one in our lifetime, but it feels a little far away.
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know either. I know. It's tough.
Football may not even be around anymore.
Well, the game's shifting. It's changing. So
it's not going anywhere. Stop.
There's too much money in it right now. It's not dying anytime soon. But
so you talked about teams that were on a high note, but we never even got to the teams on the low note. So what are those teams?
Well,
those are documented.
In a low, but I mean, Miami came back down to earth. They stink. The Giants continue to be on a low note.
How about Dwayne Haskins winning a football game and not being able to take the last snap and taking a selfie with the fan? How do you think Bill Belichick would have handled that?
Oh, he would have been cut the next day.
He would have been cut.
He would have been cut.
100%.
The argument,
and this numbnuts is in the stands. Like you just won. Like,
isn't that a good?
This is not Ohio State, dude.
Yeah, but you can argue that that's a great thing because their team is awful, and he's kind of like he's the face of the franchise, getting with the fans.
He's a man of the people now, Dan. Come on, please. Please.
It's something to be happy about as a Redskins fan.
You still could have taken that
The three people that showed up.
Yeah, I mean, you don't miss a snap. That was kind of ridiculous.
Did you hear what the attendance? They announced the attendance at the Jets Redskins game. It was like 30,000 people. The stadium holds 87,000 people.
So? What was the game this weekend? I think it was on Sunday. Maybe it was the Washington game where they said literally the lower bowl was half empty because there was no.
The Jets was.
Well, that's like every game in LA. I mean, I don't know. I wonder how attendance is around the league because I know the LA teams aren't filling their stadium. No, Rams play in a 100,000 seat stadium right now, which is ridiculously silly. But
right, but even if you get 70,000 people, it looks empty. But that would fill up 90% of. Maybe even more than that.
Well, the Chargers are playing in a 25,000 seat stadium, and they can't fill half of it. So it's hilarious. The Jets got 30 at kickoff.
Did the Jets play home this weekend?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about when they played against Washington. Now,
in Washington. Yeah.
This weekend they played home, and it was really bad weather in the Northeast. It was cold. It was rainy. But it was mostly Oakland fans, like it usually is. And Jamal Adams apparently went into the locker room after the warm-ups and said something to the team, like, "This is embarrassing. Like, let's go."
I think they were getting booed, right? They were getting booed.
They got out and they were booed. Like this, what I said to you last week. They have no home field advantage, and until this team can prove that they can win and be competitive in this league, it'll continue to be that way.
Well, it's tough in New York and LA because you just resell your tickets. There's so many people there to buy them. It's easy to get rid of them.
Well, you say that, but you say, well, that's true, but you're taking a hit on some of this stuff now. People don't want to go and see losing football. They want if the teams are winning. I mean, you can't get rid of them fast enough. When they're losing, it's you're not selling them anywhere clear face value.
I think so. There's certain teams like. They travel no matter what. The Packers will turn out for their games no matter what. The Raiders turn out for their games.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I just know that's why the LA games are normally dominated by the away teams. They just sell their tickets. But so I want to talk about this for a second because I think I shared with you guys that really good article about the mess that is Los Angeles football right now. And they're trying to sell PSLs, right? And obviously you pay it. You got season tickets. But this is new to Los Angeles. The Lakers don't have PSL prices. Nobody in LA is used to paying them, right?
What is the PSL price out there? What is it?
I feel it's real cheap. The Chargers slashed. That was part of the disagreement between the Chargers and the Rams. I think they Chargers slashed theirs to like $100 or something. Like
that's it.
Yeah, well, because no one was buying season tickets, so they cut it like 40% or 50%.
Oh, they're charging $100 PSL.
That's nothing.
Yeah,
that's nothing.
So the Jets PSL and I'm sorry. So what I think the Jets do not have a PSL in the upper bowl.
The upper bowl, they don't. Yes, right. That's true.
The mezzanine and the lower bowl are all PSLs. Now I believe every seat for the Giants is a PSL.
$1,000.
Right.
Yeah. Well, so the Rams. So this is the screwy part, right? Because the NFL has a mandate that you got to sell a certain number of season tickets, like 40% or something. They have a certain amount that each team has to sell. They removed the restrictions for the Rams and Chargers because they are starting a new stadium. So the Rams are trying to sell, and the Chargers think the Rams are going to help them sell, but the Chargers have no incentive. They are paying $1 rent. Their rent to use that stadium is $1. They have zero motivation to make any money for the LA Rams. They don't have any reason to sell season tickets, and they weren't. No one was buying them. So they, like I said, they slashed the prices, and they still haven't sold them. And now the two teams, the NFL had to hire an entire group of people to work in LA simply to mediate between the Rams staff and the Chargers staff because they're arguing over the size of golf carts and whose office is where. And this stadium was supposed to cost what? I think $1.5 billion, and it's going to cost almost $6 billion now.
Jeez.
Jerry Jones and the Steinbrenners own the construction company building the stadium.
So the question is, will you be buying a PSL for $100?
Well, I'm seriously considering buying a season ticket to the Chargers because I can resell it for twice every week, whether I go or not. Because
you hope.
Show up.
You hope.
Well, they're always going to play the Raiders twice, so I can sell those games. I mean,
Well, it's not like for my games, I have no problem getting rid of the Cowboys, Eagles, or Redskins because they're all division and they travel well. Like the Packers this week, well, I'll have no trouble doing. It's like when Arizona comes, no one cares about Arizona.
Yeah.
When Miami comes up, that's going to be peanuts. You know?
I'm going to look in January because there's going to be a fire sale on the Chargers season tickets just to fill the
I think you
stadium.
should. You absolutely should get in on that.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the Raiders start their new stadium next year, too, in Vegas, and that's drawn a ton of fans from L.A. to drive out there. So, they're
I mean, when the Jets play the Chargers or the Giants play the Chargers, we know who to hit up for tickets.
yeah,
How far of a drive is it from LA to Vegas?
4.5 hours. So
That's a
very
long
reasonable.
Yeah, but I mean, they make a weekend out of it, right? You drive down and you spend the night at the Bellagio, and
It's a straight shot through the desert. There's literally nothing in between. It's real quick. It's
Real quick. That sounds like a long, boring drive.
I've done it multiple times. It's not bad. It's worth it. You
Dan's
go
a
to
regular
Vegas,
at the Bellagio.
baby. Vegas. You watch Swingers, the movie, right? They're so excited, and then 4 hours later, they're burnt out.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wrap it up here before we get cut off. Enjoy your Thanksgiving football.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks for watching BuzzChomp.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.
Share.